Thank you, Bart. Hola, Barcelona. Good morning, good morning, and namaste, Barcelona. Great. I'm very excited to be here. Barcelona is like my second home, and always find an opportunity to come back here. So thank you so much for inviting me here today. The topic today is beyond transactional loyalty. You've heard the last 2 days about points, badges, leaderboards, and the focus is going to be how do I create one-to-one personalized experience with each one of you, 1,500 people here sitting in this audience. But before that, let me show you a video.
Like he just waltzes in and cuts in line.
We reserve priority assistance for our Hilton Honors members.
Promotions are great. You should check it out.
Hungry much?
Our business expense allots $40 each for dinner. I plan on grabbing as many miles as I can.
Okay, you gotta fill me in on the miles thing. What is that about? Are you talking about, like, frequent flyer miles?
You really want to know?
I'm dying to know.
I don't spend a nickel if I can help it, unless it somehow profits my mileage account.
So what are you saving up for? Hawaii? South of France?
It's not like that. The miles are the goal.
That's it? You're saving just to save?
Let's just say that I have a number in mind and I haven't hit it yet.
That's a little abstract. What's the target?
I'd rather not.
Is it a secret target?
It's 10 million miles.
Okay. Isn't 10 million just a number?
Pi's just a number.
Well, we all need a hobby. No, I don't mean to belittle your collection. I get it. It sounds cool.
I'd be the 7th person to do it. More people have walked on the moon.
Did they throw you a parade?
You get lifetime executive status. You get to meet the chief pilot, Maynard Finch.
Wow.
And they put your name on the side of a plane.
Men get such hard-ons from putting their name on stuff. You guys don't grow up. It's like you need to pee on everything.
Oh, now who's stereotyping?
Fear of mortality. It's like, yeah, you're gonna die one day.
And why do you suppose that's singular to men?
Probably because you can't have babies.
The baby argument.
If I had that many miles, I would show up at an airport, look at the destination board, pick a place, and go.
Next, yeah. How many of you believe that miles are goals? Raise your hand. Can't see. How many of you believe miles are goals? Okay. And how many of you believe or have a secret target for your spouse for miles? Not too many. There was a research done in US, and the average household has roughly about 21 loyalty cards. How many cards each one of you have? Let me pick up people here. 20? How many people have more than 20 cards? 20 loyalty cards? 25? Okay, that's great. How many people have more than 10 loyalty cards? Okay, great. So I have a small reward for you, and the person who has more than 20 loyalty cards, Tessin, can you hand over this nice laptop back to her? Tessin? And how many of you have 0 loyalty card? Tessin, is it a male? Okay. Can you hand over the wallet to him, please? Okay, so between me and my wife, Archana, we have roughly about 20 loyalty cards, one less than the average household. And my wife has about 15. I've got 3. And my son, Samik, and daughter, Shubha, they have 2 game loyalty card. But, there is a growing interest in terms of signing up for loyalty programs, but this whole engagement levels are waning. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the next few slides. So if you look at almost a decade back, you had, whether it's Nando's in the UK or you look at Starbucks, they all had these stamps. And then you had these great frequent flyer programs by a number of airline companies. And then this whole lot of cards which most of us sign up to. Today, this whole loyalty program is all about if you make more purchase, you get more points, and you get free goodies and discounts. I remember when I moved to UK 10 years ago, we had this Tesco card. And then over time, we had Sainsbury's was open next door in Twickenham, and we signed up for another card. And then last month, we had Costco coming up in Sunbury's, and then we had a Costco card. So if you look at all of us, I don't see there's a loyalty towards the brand. It's all about being opportunist, all of us today. I'm not sure any of us in the room can raise their hand and say, I'm loyal to a brand. I think at a particular opportune time, you may be loyal to a particular brand or a particular product, but over time, based on your needs, your loyalty would change depending on what your needs are, what your objectives are, and what the outcome you want to achieve. And most of us are not loyal to the brand. You have some kind of a commercial arrangement, what I say, to a product or a brand. So I like you to introspect, take a step back, and ask yourself some of these questions here. How relevant are your rewards today? How accessible and redeemable are your rewards? Does the loyalty program really has a strong differentiator? Are you really redeeming your points? Are brands really creating value for you? Or is it really worth your time to have 20 cards on your wallet? I just carry 3. It's just Miles and More, it's One World Alliance, and I have a Shell card. That's all I have. So here are some of the pitfalls of loyalty program. If you look at, there is no real personalized rewards. And thanks to Yukai for setting the stage in terms of those 8 pillars on which his Oculus group is defined. Most companies put brand interest before the consumer. There's a lack of experience across offline channel and online channel. As you saw today, there were 25 billion connected devices by 2020. So as more and more people are getting connected, we need to create a consistent experience across multiple channels and also cater to the next-gen digital customer. So the question I have for you is that, can gamification be the silver bullet to the engagement crisis? The answer is somewhere in between. So what makes games so engaging? I got a call from my 12-year-old son yesterday, and he called me at 9:30 in the night. Actually, I hit the controller when I came here because he was so addicted to it. Every day in the evening, he says, "Daddy, don't worry, I'll just play for 30 minutes." People are getting addicted to games. But the question here is that if we can create the same emotions in a real-life situation, whether it's HR onboarding, we heard the use case about HR onboarding. We heard the use case about incentivizing salespeople on the board. People talked about this whole smart city initiative. If we can generate strong emotions, the way we are creating those emotions with the player, the way we are tracking progress, and if we are focusing on intrinsic sense of motivation, I think we can achieve a lot through gamification. And the next generation of gamification will be focused on this. Just if you look at Electronic Arts, in a month, has roughly about 2.5 billion game sessions and roughly about 100 billion minutes. If you look at loyalty programs, the way we define should be built on the principle of 3. I talked about segment of 1. The second is around behavioral economics. And the third one is around data mining. There's so much of data you capture, both through transactions, which is structured data, and the unstructured through the social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, and other forms of media. So how do you look at going beyond transactions? How do you go beyond monetary rewards? How do you create that personalized experience? Today, consumers are empowered. They love to choose their own rewards based on their personal preferences. I got a message this morning, that my flight is canceled tomorrow to Frankfurt and to Dusseldorf. Now just imagine how rude that can be. If that airline could have given me a recommendation, hey, your flight is canceled, here are the options, I'll book you the next flight, I'll be very happy about it. So I think most airlines need to learn to create that personalized experience with the consumer. So once you have the loyalty program, what do? There's a lot of data. You can't go back to a consumer and ask for more and more. There's enough data available today on the social media, whether it's Twitter, there's Facebook, where there's gamification Congress. I think we need to use all those transactional data which we capture when people sign in, and the unstructured data, and try to make a meaning of that and create loyalty programs based on personal preferences. So there are two examples where Emmy, which is our gamification platform, which is powered by Persistent, has been used. There are a number of other examples, but I just picked up two. One is around building this whole smart city initiative. This is basically a place called Pune in India, which is called Oxford of the East. Roughly about 7 million people in the city. And the whole idea, this was launched by the Pune Municipal Commission to create a collaborative platform to engage citizens, to share ideas about this smart city initiative. And believe me, within 48 hours, we had 400,000 people signing up to this particular initiative. There was a command center set up, which was focused around 4R. One was about reaching out to people. How do you reach out to 7 million people? Through posters, a number of offline and as well as online campaign. Second was around reading those impressions. Third was around researching those impressions. And fourth was around creating a response. So here are the output of that. As I said, within 48 hours, you had 400,000 people signing up to this. And people shared ideas. If you look at what is the biggest problem in the city, people said, hey, if I had a great transport and mobility system, I'd be very happy. Somebody said, hey, can we improve the water and sewage system? Somebody came back and said, can we look at security of women in the city? Can we look at safety? And then we also captured the mood. People are very happy and delighted. If you really look at it, there were very few people who got angry about this whole initiative, right? There was a lot of people were surprised, but there was a lot of joy and admiration. And this was one of the greatest initiatives we have launched around smart city. And you can see a number of trends and clusters and social footprint which we captured across the country. Here again, gamification obviously starts with badges, points, So we also did the same thing. We captured, and incentivized people, through a number of gamification techniques. And here we see through quizzes, people uploaded the photograph, they used to get points. People, were supporting some clean energy mission. We gave them badges. And a number of other things we did to get people together to create this social platform. Here again, you can see a leaderboard. People were facilitated in front of basically in the municipal commissioner, and people were really competing against each other in terms of ideas, thoughts, how to create a better and smarter city. Here's another example, quick example about, I hurt my finger 4 weeks ago, and in UK, you go to NHS, you're told to sit down for 45 minutes for an X-ray, another 45 minutes to see your doctor. What do you do for the next 2 hours? And if there's a platform we can create to engage with the patient for 2 hours, it'll be a great opportunity. So this whole initiative we did not for NHS, but with a leading health institute in the US, creating this whole social platform to interact, motivate patients through gamification technique. Yeah, here's the example what we did in terms of having dynamic dashboards, obviously creating points and badges, creating alerts and news, creating this whole quizzes, polls, and all to make it interactive as patients are waiting in the queue to meet the GP. This is my last slide. Again, we use gamification technique through a number of ways. Instead of looking at simple data entry, make it more exciting for the patients of all ages, whether it's kids, whether it's elderly people, or even people of my age sitting and waiting at the counter. Yeah, with that, thank you so much. Muchas gracias.